Check. Putram.
Chant the verse again.
अहो विचित्रं भगवद्विचेष्टितम् घ्नन्तं जनोऽयं हि मिशन्न पश्यति ध्यायन्न सद्य हि विकर्म सेवितम् निर्हित्य पुत्रं पितरं जिजीवसति. Aho, alas, vichitram, wonderful. Bhagavad vicheshtitam, the pastimes of the Lord. Gnanantam, death. Janaha, a person. Ayam, this. He, certainly. Mission, all those seeing. Na pashyati, does not see. Dhyayan, thinking about. Asat, material happiness. Yarhi, because. Vikarma, forbidden activities. Sevitam, to enjoy. Nritya, burning. Putram, sons. Pitaram, the father. Jiji Vishati, desires of long life. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, Sri A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki. Alice, how wonderful it is that the foolish materialist does not heed the great danger of impending death. He knows that death will surely come, yet he is nevertheless callous and neglectful. In his father, if his father dies, he wants to enjoy his father's property, and if his son dies, he wants to enjoy his son's possessions as well. In either case, he heedlessly tries to enjoy material happiness with the acquired money. Please repeat. Alice, how wonderful it is that the foolish materialist does not heed the great danger of impending death. He knows that death will surely come, yet he is nevertheless callous and neglectful. If his father dies, he wants to enjoy his father's property, and if his son dies, he wants to enjoy his possessions, his son's possessions as well. In either case, he heedlessly tries to enjoy material happiness with the acquired money. Perfect. Material happiness means to have good facilities for eating, sleeping, sexual intercourse, and defense. Within this world, the materialistic person lives only for these four principles of sense gratification, not caring for the impending danger of death. After his father's death, a son tries to inherit his money and use it for sense gratification. Similarly, one whose son dies tries to enjoy the possessions of his son. Sometimes the father of a dead son even enjoys his son's widow. Materialistic persons behave in this way. Thus, Shukadev Goswami says, how wonderful are these pastimes of material happiness, transacted by the will of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In other words, materialistic persons want to commit all kinds of sinful activities, but without the sanction of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. No one can do anything. Why does the Supreme Personality of Godhead permit sinful activities? The Supreme Lord does not want any living being to act sinfully. And he begs him through his good conscience to refrain from sin. But when someone insists upon acting sinfully, the Supreme Lord gives him the sanction to act at his own risk. Matah smritir jnanam apohanam cha. Bhagavad Gita 15.15. No one can do anything without the sanction of the Lord, but He is so kind that when the conditioned soul persists in doing something, the Lord permits the individual soul to act at his own risk. According to Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, sons always outlived their fathers in other planetary systems and other lands in this universe, especially on Swargaloka. However, on this planet, Earth, a son often dies before his father, and the materialistic father is pleased to enjoy the possessions of his son. Neither the father nor the son can see the reality that both of them are awaiting death. When death comes, however, all their plans for materialistic enjoyment are finished. Om Jnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitamena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Sthapitamena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadanti Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitam Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dino Bandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopeka Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrisavanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhuvya Evacha Patitanam Pavnebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Desha Tarine Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Asai Gaura Bhakta Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
So thank you very much joining in our Saturday Bhagavatam class. Hello. Haribol. Hello. So you can see here in this verse how sense gratification is so detrimental. How the greed factor is very overwhelming. Because we know about lust, how lust leads to anger, anger leads to greed. Yes? Is it not? So here you can see how greed for wealth. The son passed away, the father wants to enjoy that. If the father passed away, the son wants to enjoy that. So sense gratification actually leads, as it says in this verse here, you see the word vikarma. Jnayan asat yahi vikarma sevitum. So sense gratification leads to sinful activities. Where is it stated in the Gita that sense gratification leads to sinful activities? Anyone knows? Huh? Hello? 316. So when you don't follow the Shastra, rules and regulation, then definitely, you got it? Then you will be living a life full of sins. Understand? We got it? No, you cannot do that, you have to go. Hello, control 4. First F2. You go to
315.
F2, then F2, then F4. F4. All right, good. 10.
Hey, okay. Evam pravartitam chakram
Evam pravatitam chakram
nanuvartayithayaha
nanuvartaya hitihaya
aghayorindriya ramo
agayorindaya rama
mogham partha sajivati.
mogam partha sajivate. So you see here, read.
My dear Arjuna, one who does not follow in human life the cycle of sacrifice, thus established by the Vedas, certainly leads a life full of sin. Living only for the satisfaction of the senses, such a person lives in vain.
So you see here, hello, can you go up? Up. Agayor Indraya Ramo. Aga means sinful. Indraya Ramo means sense gratification. Huh? So when you perform sense gratification, then you will lead you to sinful activities. Understand? So this human form of life, if you don't perform, act according to the Vedic injunctions, then you will definitely lead the life of sin. Vedic injunction means to follow the direction of the Shastra. Follow the direction of the Shastra. You understand? If you don't follow the direction of the Shastras, then you will definitely do sinful activities. Right? You definitely do. I think it's 3:23, 58 or 56. Yeah? 56 or 55. See here,
32365? 67.
huh?
32365.
3:23. Yeah, 3:23, 56. So you see here, the sequence is explained here, and it's a very famous verse. I'm sure you know this verse. Yeah? Yeah.
Why it's not coming? '66, 67.
56. 56.
Yeah.
There's no 66 there. 56.
56.
Yeah. Okay, Chen. Neha yat karma dharmaya na viragaya
Kalpate.
kalpate na tirtha pada sevaye jivanapi mrityu he swaha. So this verse, can you read the translation?
Anyone whose work is not meant to elevate him to religious life, anyone whose religious, ritualistic performances do not raise him to renunciation, and anyone situated in renunciation that does not lead him to devotional service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead must be considered dead, although he's breathing. Jai Shri Ram.
To this point here. So if your work does not lead you to religiosity, can you go on? So no.
Okay.
Yeah. So anyone who is religious but does not come to the point of renunciation. So what is this renunciation? What is this renunciation? Huh? What is this renunciation? Hello? This renunciation means you renounce sinful activities. You understand? You renounce what? Sinful activities. Vasudeva Bhagavati Bhakti Yogo Prayojita Janatu Asu Vairagyam Jnanam.
Jnanam.
This Vairagya means that you have to become free from sinful life. Understand? In other words, you must stop doing vikarma. There are three kinds of karma. What are the three kinds of karma? Karma, akarma,
Vikarma.
and vikarma. What is karma?
Pious.
What is karma?
Pious.
Pious
Pious.
activities sanctioned by the Shastra.
Prescribed duties.
What is vikarma?
Forbidden.
Forbidden activities, sinful activities. And what is akarma?
Inaction.
Huh?
Devotional service.
Huh? Activities which produce no reaction. You understand? These three karma. But forbidden, you cannot, if you don't come to religiosity, and if you are religious but you don't renounce, don't do sinful work, then you can come to devotional service. Understand? That's also explained by Krishna himself in the Bhagavad Gita. What is that verse? That you don't do sinful activities.
728.
What is that verse?
728. 728.
7? Put it up.
Yesham
ta antagata papam jananam punyakarmanam tedvandva moha nirmukta bhajante mam tattavataha. Yeah. So when you have done in your previous life, not even this life, previous life, you have not done any sinful activities. Hello. Sinful activities, you are free. In previous life, you're free from sinful activities. In this life, you acted piously. That means also, piously means what? Also free from sinful life. Persons who have acted piously in previous life and in this life with sinful action are completely eradicated, are free from the dualities of delusion, and they engage themselves. See this point here, they are free from delusion. That's now in this world today, misam. Yam misam na pashyanti. In other words, we go back to that verse, agaham indriya ramo 3:16, right? Are you following? The 3:16 verse, right? Agaham indriya ramo mogam. You see the word? Sa jivati. Hello, you got it? So here you see the word mogam partasi jivati. In other words, if you enjoy sinful life or you engage in vikarma, then you will become what? Moham. Moham means what?
Illusion.
Bewildered. You are what? Hello. You are what? Bewildered. And when we are bewildered means, what does it mean you're bewildered? That means what? You want to enjoy more. What's the meaning of what's the meaning of your bewildered? Huh? What's the meaning of your bewildered? Hello? Huh? Nothing. Nothing happened. What? What? Bewildered, the translation of bewildered means, you see, about the 9:12, Bhagavad Gita. The bewilderment means that you get moga. Can you chant? Chant.
Mogha samogha karmano.
Moga samoga karmano.
Mogha jnana vichetasaha.
Moga jnana vishetasa.
Rakshasim asurim chaiva.
Rakshasim asurim chaiva.
Prakritim mohinim striha.
Prakrite mohini mastita. Translation.
Those who are thus bewildered are attracted by demonic and atheistic views.
Those who are bewildered, they are attracted to demonic and atheistic.
In that deluded condition, their hopes for liberation, their fruitive activities, and their culture of knowledge are all defeated.
Is that point here? You see what happens when you get into sinful activities. What happens when you get to sinful activities? Well, you get bewildered.
Yeah.
Today, although seeing, you cannot see. Although seeing, you cannot see. That's why many people, you can see the father die, the grandfather die, son, everybody dying. But he's thinking that what? I will never die. Why? Because he's bewildered. You understand? That's the power of this material energy. You cannot see. Pashyanti na
No, Pasha.
pashyanapi na pashyati. That verse, that that what is that? What Rajendra? Huh? What is the beginning word of that verse? Rajendra. Huh? Sotra Vidini Rajendra. Huh? 212. So you see here the same word. Sotra Vidini.
Shrotyayadini Rajendra.
Sotra Vidini Rajendra.
Nirnam Santi Sahasrasaha.
Nam Santi Sahasram.
Apyashatam Atmatattvam.
Apashyantam.
Grihesu Grahamedhina.
Grahashu Grahamedinam. That's a very significant verse here. You see here.
Those persons who are materially engrossed, being blind to the knowledge of ultimate truth, have many subject matters for hearing in human society, O Emperor.
So you see here in this verse, those persons who are materially engrossed, those persons who are, and they are, just now we say they are blind, they are bewildered. So the same thing, being blind to the knowledge of, they cannot understand. They cannot. Apasyanti, the word you see here. Apashyantam Atma Tattvam. They cannot understand this Atma Tattva. They cannot.
See.
You cannot understand that. How you can understand? You do sinful work, you can understand. Not possible. It's not. Understand this point. So you see, and the word here, grahasu, grahamedinam. Those who are grahamedi means those who are implicated in sinful work. Grahastha means he lives according to rules and regulations. Ashram, grahastha, ashram. Grahamedi means one who no rules and regulations, free, just like animals. You understand? So if you put yourself in sinful life, then you're going to be attracted by atheistic and demonic views. And not only that, anything you do, moga asa, moga karmana, moga, everything become moha. Everything become illusion. No value. No what? There's no value to it. That means you do anything becomes what? Shramam eva,
Kevalam.
useless labor with no benefits. You understand? And today the example is given how a person becomes very greedy. In this condition, he is overwhelmed by greed. That he wants to enjoy his son's wealth, or he wants to enjoy his father's in proper right in the purport. He also wants to enjoy the wife of the house. Just see how this is very what? What is the word? Abominable. Yes. Why? Because sinful work. When you perform sinful work, then there is no reasoning, no logic, no nothing. They're bewildered. Correct? You see how, of course, we have many times stressed about the point of lust, how lust, can be overwhelming. But what about greed? Today is all the subject about greed. Where in the Gita it says that greed is also bad. Let the others. Where? Love. The women, they don't need to study, do housework. Where is that verse? Come on. Hello? Give you a clue. 16. 16:21. There are three gates that lead you to
Hell.
What are the three gates?
Lust, anger, greed.
Huh?
Lust, anger, greed.
Take it out. So why greed is very, very bad? Why greed is very bad? See here, Krishna said these are the three gates that lead you to Kama, Krodha and Lobha. Kama, Krodha, Lobha. See?
1521.
16:21.
Yeah.
You are putting 15:21. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Chen.
Trividham narakayeshedam
Trividam narakeshedam
dvaram nashanam atmanaha
Dvaranasanamatmana
kama krodhas tatha lobha
Kamakroda tata loba
tasmadetat taye.
Tasmadetattrayam prajam.
There are three gates leading to this hell. No, there are three gates leading to this hell: lust, anger, and greed. Every sane man should give these up, for they lead to the degradation of the soul.
Krishna just said like that. But you know why this thing goes so bad? Huh? Why greed is so bad? Hmm? Very good. 7, 15, 20 and 19. 19 first and then 20. See what happens if you become greedy. See this. Can you chant?
असन्तु स्तस्य विप्रस्य
Asantotasya viprasya
तेजो विद्या तपो यशः
tejo vidyatapo yasa
श्रवन्तीन्द्रिया लौलेन
sarvarindriya laulena
ज्ञानं चैवावकीर्यते.
jnanam chaiva kiryate.
Because of greed, for the sake of the senses, the spiritual strength, education, austerity, and reputation of a devotee or Brahmana who is not self satisfied dwindle, and his knowledge gradually vanishes.
See what happens when you become greedy? Huh? Can you go up? Because no. Because of can you translation? Translation. Because of greed, for the sake of sense, for the sake of the sense gratification. Yes, greedy. The spiritual strength, that means your austerity, spiritual education, austerity, and reputation of a devotee or Brahmana who is not self-satisfied dwindle and his knowledge gradually vanishes. You see how greed is affecting? Huh? How it affects? Huh? That's why even Krishna says, one who actually Bhoga Aishwarya Prasaktanam, Taya Praharta, Vyavasa Samadhavana Vidyate, you cannot get anything, nothing. Huh? See how dangerous it is. No, don't go there. You see how dangerous this is by becoming greedy, lusting over material wealth, especially. Wealth. The more you get, the more you want. Right? The more you have, the more you want. The more. The next verse. Go to next verse. Yeah, read the translation.
The strong bodily desires and needs of a person disturbed by hunger and thirst.
Can go back. No, there's two verses, no? Go to the translation. Yeah.
The strong bodily desires and needs of a person disturbed by hunger and thirst are certainly satisfied when he eats. Similarly, if one becomes angry, very angry, that anger is satisfied by chastisement and its reaction. But as for greed, even if a greedy person has conquered all the directions of the world or has enjoyed everything in the world, still he will not be satisfied.
See that? He can conquer the whole world, huh? Enjoy everything, still he will not be satisfied. You understand? Lust, after you satisfy your lust, anger, you get over with it. But greed cannot go over it. Huh? You understand this? I think in 7, 8, 10, I think. Prahlad Maharaj is telling this to his father. Huh?
7, 6, 10.
Huh? 10, 10. 9 and then 10. The translation. Go to the translation. Can you read this?
In former times, there were many fools like you who did not conquer the six enemies that steal away the wealth of the body. These fools were very proud, thinking, I have conquered all enemies in all the 10 directions. But if a person is victorious over the six enemies and is equipoised toward all living entities, for him there are no enemies. Enemies are merely imagined by one in ignorance.
This is Prahlad is speaking to his father. Huh? Of course, greed is involved here. So you see how detrimental greed is towards one's spiritual advancement. Yeah? It's very dangerous. And he cannot see his downfall. That is now we're at the three gates go to. You follow? Hellish life is not something that you desire for, because the consequence, you have to come back and start again from the lowest end, and that's not going to be good. You understand? So, but because these people who are in this position, like Hiranyakashipu, you see the next verse, what he says, huh? Because they cannot see, they're bewildered. You see how he talks.
Hiranyakashipu replied, You rascal, you are trying to minimize my value, as if you were better than me at controlling the senses. This is over intelligent. I can therefore understand that you desire to die at my hands. For this kind of nonsensical talk is indulged in by those about to die.
See how he talks? Prahlad is giving him good guidance. This is how they think. They are demonic. They want. Nothing can, no good advice can just like comes up. Vasudeva was trying to save his wife, Devaki, and he was saying so many things, and he was going to kill her. Yes. Huh? That's why Krishna himself said the consciousness of a demon. Wow, the consciousness of a demon. You know the verse? 16 what? 16, 8 to 10, 11 to 13, I think. 11, 13. Huh? Aham Bogi, Balavantan, Sugi. I think it's 16, 11, I think. Yeah? Yeah, see. Go on. No, let me see the other second one. No, not this one. 13, 15, is it? 13, 14. No? Yeah, go to that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, this is Chen.
Idam idya maya labham
Idamadya maya labdam
imam prapshe manoratham
imam prapse manoratam
idam astidam api me
idamastidamatine
bhavishyati punardhanam
bhavishye punartanam
aso maya hata shatru
asamaya dasatru
anishye chaparan api
adishye chaparanmapi
ishwaroham aham bhogi
eswaraham bhogi
siddhoham balavan sukhi
siddhaham balavan sukhi
adhyobhijanavam asmi
adyo vijanonasmi
konyosti sadraso maya
Gonyosti sadrisho maya
yakshe dashyami modisya
Shedasyami modisya
iti agyana vimohitaha.
Iti ajnana vimohitaha.
Translation. The demoniac person thinks, so much wealth do I have today, and I will gain more according to my schemes.
Again, this is greed. This is what? Greed.
So much is mine now, and it will increase in the future, more and more. He is my enemy, and I have killed him, and my other enemies will also be killed. I am the Lord of everything. I am the enjoyer. I am perfect, powerful, and happy. I am the richest man, surrounded by aristocratic relatives. There is none so powerful and happy as I am. I shall perform sacrifices. I shall give some charity, and thus I shall rejoice. In this way, such persons are deluded by ignorance.
So that Krishna is explaining the mind of a demon. You understand? And it's all based on power. And the power comes from having excessive wealth. You understand? You see how dangerous it is. How the mind becomes contaminated. Hmm. That's why usually Brahmin, they don't want to have any, no wealth. Free himself from this so-called bad qualities. Right? Very dangerous. Because there are, the verse, right? 15 bad qualities that come from wealth.
424, 66.
Huh?
Another one, 424,
424?
66.
That one is the mouse eating the thing. I'm coming to that.
Lord Shiva spoke.
I'm coming to that. There are a few verses on that. Now you go to this 11, 23, 18.
18, 19.
Yeah. So there are 15 bad qualities that come from acquiring wealth. You don't become Brahmana, you become what? Kripana. Miser. You want to what? Stinge. Yeah, you see, can you go to the translation? These are the 15 bad things that come from trying to get money. That's why when Kali, Kali, he was asked to go somewhere else, not in my kingdom, right? One? 1:17:39. Okay, let's read this first before we go there.
Theft, violence, speaking lies, duplicity, lust, anger, perplexity, pride, quarreling, enmity, faithlessness, envy, and the dangers caused by women, gambling, and intoxication are the 15 undesirable qualities that contaminate men because of greed for wealth. Although these qualities are undesirable, men falsely ascribe value to them. One desiring to achieve the real benefit of life should therefore remain aloof from undesirable material wealth.
See that? So dangerous. It is so dangerous. Because of greed. Because of what? Greed. Sinful life, you become demonic. You cannot become devotee, you become. That's why this whole world now is all based on that. A few rich guys are controlling the whole. Everything is manipulated by them. Who lives, who dies, where there should be war. They never, there's now the word demon. He's my enemy, I've killed him. They're only killing, there's no saving. A devotee is only thinking about saving. Paradukha, whereas a demon is only thinking of killing. It's two different consciousness, two different. You understand? Because they are already becoming attracted to demonic and atheistic consciousness. So how detrimental it is. This greed factor is so dangerous. This is so. You understand? And they think that they can live forever. They conquer. Yes, man, I'll do some sacrifice. I'll everything I. Yes. But Krishna is not going to let that work. That's not possible. You know? Krishna will finish them up. I think it's 3:30. 3:30.
3:30.
3:30 or 3:28? Let me see.
It is my Sarvani Karma.
Time factor. As time factor, he destroys. Hmm?
332.
3:30.
32.
2.
Yeah, 3:30. Can read 3:31, 2, 3. 3:30, 1, 2, 3. 3:30 means third canto, 30th chapter, text 1. Hello, this Bhagavad Gita. I gotta know a little bit.
3:31.
Yes, 3:30. You can read 1. Yeah, read translation, no time. Yeah, we won't finish.
The personality of Godhead said, as a mass of clouds does not know the powerful influence of the wind, a person engaged in mental consciousness does not know the powerful strength of the time factor by which he is being carried.
So he thinks, I never die. I will never. Hiranyakashipu was thinking, I want to not die. So every materialist is thinking like that. Even they have a plan that even they die, they are put into some chamber and waiting for the scientists to discover some tonic to inject them, and then they're going to pop out again. This is nonsense. This is what? And this is how they're thinking. Next word, you see? Huh? Walt Disney. He's what? Frozen, waiting for someone to revive him.
Whatever is produced by the materialist with great pain
Put some fire, talking, hello.
and labor for so called happiness, the Supreme Personality, as a time factor, destroys. And for this reason, the conditioned soul laments.
So whatever is produced by the materialist with great pain and labor for so-called happiness, the Supreme Personality, as time factor destroys. And for this reason, the conditioned soul
Laments.
Classic example. You're going to holiday, Kashmir, and then what happens? Huh? Hello? Understand? Eh? As time factor, he, of course, next verse.
The misguided materialist does not know that his very body is impermanent and that the attractions of home, land, and wealth, which are in relationship to that body, are also temporary. Out of ignorance only, he thinks that everything is permanent.
So he thinks everything is what? Because he cannot understand. Already this now we explained. He's what? Completely what? Bewildered. He's completely what? He cannot see. Although seeing, he cannot see. Although seeing, he cannot. Apashyanti atmatattva. We cannot. You understand? So this is dangerous platform. This is you building a, what do we say, sandcastle. And that's what everybody is trying to do. Big house, big car, big everything, big, 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 big. But Krishna is says here, right? I what? Destroy. I. We can go to the next verse. Of course, we quote that all the time. 3:29, 39. 3:29, 39. Yes, we quote this all the time.
No one is dear to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, nor is anyone his enemy or friend. But he gives inspiration to those who have not forgotten him and destroys those who have.
Forgotten him and destroys those who have. The word here is what? Destroy. You understand? If you don't want to become Krishna consciousness, then you're ultimately what? You are going to be destroyed. You're going to what? You cannot think that, oh, I will just do what I want to do. Who cares, you know? No. You will be one. In the Bhagavad Gita also he said that. Where?
1850.
In the Bhagavad Gita he also said this thing.
1858.
Huh?
1858. 58.
Oh. Huh?
My Durgani.
For those who don't know, 1858.
Machchita sarva durgani mat prasadatarishyasi atha chetvam ahankaran na shroshyasi vinakshyasi. If you become conscious of me, you will pass over all the obstacles of conditioned life by my grace. If, however, you do not work in such consciousness, but act through false ego, not hearing me, you will be lost.
So you see here, if you don't act in Krishna consciousness, you will be what? Huh? You will be lost. You won't make it. You won't. You understand? You cannot say, oh, this God is very what? Impartial. How you can say this? Should be given what? Freedom of choice, yeah? You think you have freedom of choice? And another place also he says, I think famous, see Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva is saying this, huh?
424.
66. Lord Shiva is also saying it.
24.
My dear Lord, all living entities within this material world are mad after planning for things, and they are always busy with the desire to do this or that. This is due to uncontrollable greed.
Again, uncontrollable. That-
The greed for material enjoyment is always existing in the living entity, but your Lordship is always alert, and in due course of time you strike him, just as a snake seizes a mouse and very easily swallows him.
That again the same subject, greed. Same thing. Because of and the Lord is waiting, and then that's it. Then he cried. So understand this point. Hello? There's another verse. 10 to 29.
O Lord, you are always in full knowledge and to bring all good fortune to all living entities. You appear in different incarnations, all of them transcendental to the material creation. When you appear in these incarnations, you are pleasing to the pious and religious devotees. But for non devotees, you are an annihilator.
See that again? For the devotees, they are what? Exempted. They are what? Protected. They are what? Guided. But those who are not, he finishes them. Annihilate. What is that? Again, there's another verse, 1087:32. 1087:32.
The wise souls who understand how your Maya deludes all human beings render potent, who render potent loving service to you, who are the source of liberation from birth and death. How, indeed, can fear of material life affect your faithful servants? On the other hand, your furrowing eyebrows, the triple rimmed wheel of time, repeatedly terrify those who refuse to take shelter of you.
So that they're tormented. They are tormented. Because the Lord is not going to give you the facility to enjoy sinful activities. It is not possible. It is not. The decision is yours whether you want to go on the path of lust, anger, greed, what is that? Envy. uh. So greed is in the heart. So how does the devotee overcome this problem? Because it is not saying that you become a devotee, you don't have greed. Greed is also there. You also have lust. You also have what? Anger. You also have you have all these things. But how the devotee employs this thing, especially wealth. There it says, Dhanam dharmeka palam. Dhanam dharmeka palam. 11:5:12. You see. So the purpose of trying to control greed, this wealth, must be engaged in the service of dharma. Dharmika palam. See that? Very nicely. Can you go to the Sanskrit? See? Dhanam cha dharmika palam yato vai. Is that? So wealth has to be employed in the service of. Okay? Can you read translation?
The only proper fruit of acquired wealth is religiosity, on the basis of which one can acquire a philosophical understanding of life that eventually matures into direct perception of the absolute truth, and thus liberation from all suffering. Materialistic persons, however, utilize their wealth simply for the advancement of their family situation. They fail to see that insurmountable death will soon destroy the frail material body.
See, this verse is completely opposite of that verse in 7:15-19 we read. How just now you read, how it is you lose your intelligence, your knowledge, everything goes when you engage in your greed. But here, if you use that same wealth in the service of the Lord, you see what you get? You get freedom from this material. But then that, you see, the only proper, not only say the proper use, it's the only proper. The what? Only proper fruit of acquired wealth is religiosity. On the basis of which one can acquire a philosophical understanding of, that means you get what? Intelligence, you get knowledge. You get what? That's now, if you engage it in your sense gratification, you lose. You lose your knowledge, you become bewildered. You see how things are all lining up. You cannot try to think that, no, I can do anything I like. That's how Krishna destroys you. He gives you intelligence to what? Destroy yourself. And you see how everything is so important. So when you engage in Krishna's service, then yes. And Krishna also said in the Bhagavad Gita, where he said that wealth must be given to me in the Bhagavad Gita.
18.5.
Hello?
18.5.
Hello? Once again. Yeah? What? Where? Huh? What? What? Come on, you don't know. You're going out to preach, collecting money, you don't know how to tell. Huh? What did you tell? What do you say? Huh? 18.5. Hello? Huh? 18.5. Hello? 9:27. 9:27. Hello? Chan. How is it? Where is it says in 9:27? See, Chan.
Yat karosi yad ashnasi.
Yat karosi yarasnasi.
Yajjuhosi dadasi yat.
Yajuhosi dadasi. This dadasi means what?
Give away.
Huh?
Give.
All this wealth has to be given to who? Yat tapasisi kauntaya tat kuruswa mat arpa. What is this mat arpa?
Offering to me.
Offer to who? Yes. Eh? Translate. So you should know this. You should what?
Whatever you do, whatever you eat, whatever you offer or give away, and whatever austerities you perform, do that, O son of Kunti, as an offering to me.
So this is the proper use of wealth to give to. Of course, in 18.5 is that these three things should not be given up. That is saying that it should not be given up. But he never say give to who, what? Does he say give to who? Huh? Here, it's specific. It says who? Give to who? You have to give to me. You understand? So this is understanding, because if you do that, then that activity becomes purified. Then 18.5. Then comes to huh? Yeah, Ishopanishad 1 also. Anything that is, you cannot, your quota you have to take. You cannot take too much of it, then you're in trouble. Understand? So you see how relevant it is important that how we should become Krishna conscious. If we become Krishna conscious, then automatically everything falls in line. Even you don't know also, Krishna gives you intelligence. And if you also go in the wrong way also, Krishna will protect you and guide you also. So it is so important that you try to control this. What? Sinful activities. Because if you do sinful activities, then there is going to be a lot of trouble. Because Krishna will finish you up. Krishna will, just like in your India now, 26 people died. Everybody is very upset. But how these 26 people never kill anything? Huh? Every day killing. So those who are killing, they will be killed. Isn't that? Yeah. Right? So because sinful work, finished. So therefore, price to pay. Price to, yeah. You cannot say that, we Hindu, we have our land, we cannot die here. Huh? What? No. You follow? The consciousness must be purified. If you work in Krishna consciousness, then Krishna himself is saying, my devotee will never. And Krishna is giving assurance. But if you cross the line, then the outcome is going to be very disastrous. Yes, so try to understand. And you will do crazy things. You do one. So it is very, very important that you become Krishna conscious. Yes, any questions? Any comments on this point raised? Of course, you become a devotee, then you can see things clearly. You can see everything clearly. Like the sun, lighting up everything. You know where is that verse?
6:150.
Huh?
Oh.
Bhagavad Gita, right? Easy. Bhagavad Gita for you. Where? If you know Krishna, then everything becomes very clear. Everything becomes, where is that? 5:16. Bhagavad Gita, 5:16. No, just translate.
However, one is enlightened, with the knowledge by which nescience is destroyed, then his knowledge reveals everything, as the sun lights up everything in the daytime.
See that? The moment you are Krishna conscious, then everything becomes very clear. Very clear. And by the mercy of the spiritual master, you get protected. You get what? Protected. What to do, what not to do. Huh? You follow? That's why it's so important, this knowledge. Without this knowledge, then you will do anything you like. And what is the consequence? It's going to be disastrous. It's going to be. So be very careful, become Krishna conscious, and teach everyone to become Krishna conscious. And that's the duty to educate people from becoming sinful. Because if they go on that path, then there's nothing but destruction. And that's going to be painful. Ending up in the lower species is not fun. It's not? All right, so we will, yeah.
Even though today's topic is Lobha, that is greed, but in 1621 Krishna says Kama, Krodha, Lobha. So he's giving us three gates to hell. So for Krodha and Lobha, I may try to trace the source where it is coming from in my life, from in my consciousness, and I can try to control it. But when it comes to Kama, I feel I don't even know the source. Automatically it is coming. Then how do I even control it?
Karma.
Yes.
So, how you answer this question?
337.
Huh?
337. 337.
3?
37.
Krishna telling by
Passion.
That's what he's asking now. His question is this 337. His question.
Rajoguna.
How to control karma is asking. Hello?
565.
5?
Mind is the causes of lost anger greed. The mind is the causes of lost anger greed. He asking about source of all this. He saying mind is
The source of it.
yeah.
No, he wants to know how to overcome it.
Yeah. So the two things. If I know the source, I can stop it. But if I don't even know the source, how do I stop it? Where is it coming from?
That means
If I know a leakage, I can tap it.
Krishna says in 337, the source.
Yeah.
The source is what? From the
Passion.
mode of
Passion.
and Kama esha, Krodha esha, Raja guna. What guna?
Rajoguna.
So the source is from
Rajoguna.
passion. I gave a class on this, I mean, so many classes on how you get into passion. First thing, you don't wake up before. When you start after the sun comes up, then you're starting in the mode of
Passion.
and finish. Then what? Then your lust will come, and then your anger will come, and then the greed will come, and one thing after another thing, and this way you go down to. That's why it says, I think I just post one thing in the WhatsApp, right? You start your day with what?
Yeah.
I just posted that,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
What is that verse I said?
I'll check.
Huh? First thing in the day, something like that. What was the topic? I don't remember. Huh? In the WhatsApp message I sent, no? What's that heading? First duty of the day. What is the first duty of the day?
Mangala.
Wake up and do Mangala. If you don't do this, then it's going to be disastrous. It's going to be disastrous. Then lust will come, anger will come, greed will come, graduates. From lust, he graduates to what? Anger, graduate to, and then envy. Oh, you create self-envy. Someone was asking me this question. How you create self-envy? How you create self-envy?
Why
How?
would anyone be envious of
You type the word self-envy. I think you will come up to this point where, 9 something, the Lord is explaining to Durvasha Muni. You type the word self-envy. You do the search. You can't do search here, is it? This thing doesn't have search. Yeah.
Let me search here.
Huh?
No, 9469.
94?
9469.
So 9469, yes. So it's explaining what is self-envy here. Can you read?
O Brahmana, let me now advise you for your own protection. Please hear from me. By offending Maharaj Ambarish, you have acted with self-envy.
So that here, by offending the devotee, you have acted with self-envy.
Therefore, you should go to him immediately, without a moment's delay. One so-called prowess, when employed against the devotee, certainly harms him who employs it. Thus, it is the subject, not the object, who is harmed.
So this is called self. Understand? Says to someone, how you can be envious of yourself? How you do that? But here, the explanation is this. By acting envious of someone, you are actually getting the reaction. The purport, Prabhupada explained.
Purport. A Vaishnava is always an object of envy for non-devotees, even when the non-devotee happens to be his father. To give a practical example, Hiranyakashipu was envious of Prahlad Maharaj, but this envy of the devotee was harmful to Hiranyakashipu, not to Prahlad. Every action taken in Hiranyakashipu against his son Prahlad Maharaj, was taken very seriously by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And thus, when Hiranyakashipu was on the verge of killing Prahlad, the Lord personally appeared and killed Hiranyakashipu. Service to a Vaishnava gradually accumulates and becomes an asset for the devotee.
Service to a devotee accumulates and gives an asset. This is called what? Agyata Sukirti. Unknowingly getting the merits. But similarly, harmful activities directed against the devotee gradually become the ultimate cause of the performance fall down. You see that point? One hand you're getting blessing, but if you offend, then it's going to be very detrimental.
Even such a great Brahmana and mystic yogi as Durvasa was in a most dangerous situation because of his offense at the lotus feet of Maharaj Ambarish, a pure devotee.
So you see how you create self envy. You understand? It was interesting. He asked me this question: but how you can become envious of yourself? Nobody will be envious of yourself, right? But this is because you offend another devotee. Then it becomes what? Comes back to you. So it is very dangerous to be in that position. Yes? Is it clear?
Yes, yes, Prabhu, yes.
Clear, huh? Anything else to add? Anybody? All right, so I guess we stop here. Thank you very much. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, Gopal Premanand ki.
Really bold.
I guess today's topic is just on lust. Huh? I'm sorry, greed.